Hello, hi, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a beautiful day or night. We're gonna dive on in and get a little clarity. I'm just kind of chillaxing on the floor in my living room. So just kind of do a casual reading. We're gonna start with the tea leaf. The messages are kind of general. So it's timeless. Whenever you find this, it's perfect. See what resonates, leave what doesn't, and always follow that divine inner guidance in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition. So your decisions are sound, based in love, and for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's begin. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. What are some key things to have focus on at the beginning of this reading? Your focus should be on love, doing things that you love, spending time with those that you love, working on a project that you love to work on. Maybe somebody has the Google eyes for you, or a little love in their heart that they want to express. Maybe some of you are falling in love or going to. Is there anything else from this half of the tea leaf? Although I think that's a pretty beautiful card to come out. Yeah, so let's go to the second half. Is there anything else that would be helpful to focus on today? Please and thank you. Focus on, know about. It would clarify anything up. That right now you're getting a little bit of a warning not to get overly angry at a particular person or in a situation. There might be something that happens where you're kind of pissed off, but there's something important about you cooling down to calm your energy, because there's a situation you can handle a lot better than lashing out. It doesn't mean, that feeling of anger is wrong, but there's something about how you can react better or get a better reaction if your energy is more centered, grounded, and calm. I also kind of see that there might be, definitely not the same situation, but there definitely could be somebody who is a button pusher, kind of likes to just push the old buttons a little bit, and I feel like their intention is to get you upset, and your best reaction for somebody like that is to not react. Don't let them get to you. Maybe you have to get some advice from a wise person first, and they will help you with the dealings of that situation over there. It could also be a very wise person who has some financial advice for you. It just says to pay attention to your finances. For some of you, this could be on what you're spending your money on. I'm kind of seeing that some of you could be spending money on something kind of frivolous that you don't even know you're spending on every month. Maybe like a weird app that you don't really use. It just says pay attention to your finances. I feel like there's maybe something you're missing. I don't know what that is. Also, sometimes if you have any kind of merging of your finances between you and somebody else, that sometimes can be a factor in some arguments. So maybe it's fighting about money, or that's what is making you angry. If anybody else is kind of, I don't know. I keep seeing a bank account and I don't know why. Maybe that can be I'm getting like a mature but very clear, solid conversation. It has something to do with holding the purse strings. I don't know what that means. I think that's a phrase. a tower, but this is a good tower. So there is a place where you can build on a solid foundation. There's a place where maybe this has to do with love. I could just think of Paris. Maybe you connect to Paris. This makes me think of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I used to think that was pizza when I was little. It's a solid foundation and it's success with a little bit of effort. That's really nice. And then you have this owl, which is great advice from a wise person. So this is either somebody that just is kind of wise. I heard reality check, and I'm not getting that this is an age thing. Sometimes a wise person can be somebody really young, but they ask the right question. Maybe it's about the right question, but it could also be that somebody is wise because of experiences that they've actually gone through. If any of you are building something, maybe just be aware. I see, like, you know, when I think they call it a lemon, when somebody tries to sell you a lemon, if it's like a used car or something like that, maybe take somebody, if you don't know so much about cars, maybe take somebody with you that does, like a mechanic or a friend, because I feel like something might have electrical problems, and that can be harder to fix than something kind of simple, like, you know, a good old part in the engine. I am not a mechanic, but it's something like that, where also if you're buying a home, I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be the one that looks the most perfect on the outside. I feel like for some of you, you might get like a fixer-upper that has really solid, good bones, but maybe have the right inspector come over to check the electricity, check the wires, check the roof, the foundation, you know, there's something like that, the pipes, you know, the plumbing. I'm also getting, for some of you, it might have to do with property that has a well, or making sure that you have really good water. I know if you're in a city or something like that, you might not have a well, but this does kind of look like it could be an apartment too. I also feel like for some of you, you could buy something that's maybe not what you're looking for, but it's that step to get towards, you know, that home you really love, the property that you dream of. It might even just be land, and you build exactly what you want. Interesting. I also do feel like some of you are going to have a very successful relationship coming in. I even see that if maybe in the past you had some partnerships where somebody liked to push the old buttons, or there was a, you know, never getting on the right page as far as finances or what you want to build, or, you know, how you want to grow with someone. I feel like this is somebody that even if you have a little, you know, a little scuff or a little, you know, argument, you get back on the same page pretty fast. What is this? Persevere and you will overcome problems. That's really nice. It's just telling you to keep going. I am seeing with that thing, there might be a straw that broke the camel's back, you know, no moss, no more kind of situation, but I feel like that's a good thing. I do feel like that was ready to crumble for a while. Maybe it is a long dry spell for some of you across the haven't seen love in a while land, but maybe that oasis is coming on in pretty soon. There's also something with this camel about, I feel like those are the ones we should start with. There's something about the camel and drinking enough water. I did see something with water before, right? Or a well. Maybe for some of you, I know this is kind of silly, but maybe it's about getting a water filter, or it's about the right pH balance in the water that you buy. If you buy bottles of water, I do feel like waking up in the morning and just drinking a glass of water first before you do anything else is probably helpful for a lot of you. Because I feel like, you know, when you're dehydrated, you can make wonky decisions. Or it can get you irritated, you know, like kind of feel like you're off. And a lot of times people don't even realize it's just that they're a little dehydrated. Persevere and you will overcome problems. So anything that was a problem, you're either seeking out or going to find a solution or the right clue for a resolution or a solution. Nice. Let's keep going. What can I bring? Let's do this. So now you have a camel and an owl. Maybe maybe you see an owl. Maybe you see a camel. Or you connect to those animals. I also feel like with that lightning, you know, sometimes I get messages that aren't just the, you know, the words that are printed on the card. I feel like there's something about an energetic weather change or something that comes in really fast, sudden changes, possible upheaval. But I feel like if that's that kind of tower situation, it's a really good tower. It could also be where, you know, if you had a dry spell, love falls into your world, you meet the right person out of nowhere, that can be a tower. It could also be if you thought somebody was always a certain way because they kind of, maybe you don't know this person so well, but I kind of feel like some of you might be irritated with someone that kind of snaps, or they're getting like redinky-dink, you know, they get kind of weird, maybe even in public, where, you know, they I don't know, I see somebody like doing something kind of foolish in public because they let their anger get the best of them. I'm almost getting like kind of embarrassing. Maybe that has to do with the, you know, straw that broke the camel's back, or somebody that's going to be at a distance in your life, or that's just a reflection upon the past and how you can do it different in the future if that was you. Interesting messages. But there's also something with that lightning about feeling like zapped back on, plugged back in, even maybe a reality check that really helps you somehow. Also, I feel like this owl is perched on bamboo, which is a very lucky energy that usually has to do with prosperity and abundance coming your way. It also has, like it grows really, really fast. So maybe something's about to grow really fast. Let's see. What is this one? It's the secret language of the animal. So what is a secret language message that the animals have to be helpful for the collective today? Please and thank you. Ooh, a sea turtle. Number 7, that's like the Chariot. Maybe someone's coming out of their shell or now going with the flow. It's telling you have a great new beginning. Also, some of you, this says to persevere. Maybe it is about a journey or a vacation or a trip. I said something before about home, right? Or buying a home, buying in a, you know, it could even be renting, but I'm getting mostly buying or building. Maybe some of you are moving. You're taking just what you need with you. There's something about feeling really comfortable where you're going. It's self-reliance, a journey, and home. This is not over-reliant on anyone else. You do have the right, like school of fish coming with you. I don't know if these are clownfish. They're really pretty. Maybe it is about humor or keeping your sense of humor. Maybe it's about going to school or getting more information or even signing up for a class. Maybe some of you are even starting a business. Maybe that's why you have to pay attention to your finances. over here, you know, starting a business. I feel like there's a different way that you can do it than overspending on something you actually down the line, if you just waited, wouldn't have needed. Definitely spend on the essentials. I hear custom. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's something that's custom made or custom made for you, or you do something like that. Maybe it's even a logo, a brand, a web page, home. There's also something, I saw the apps before for you guys with like that you spend on something and it's kind of unnecessary. I see like your home screen. So that could be on your computer or on your phone. And there's something you either need to put there or take off. I don't know what that is. So maybe it's just organizing your home screen so something's more streamlined, flowing. Let's see. Let's do this one. We got the sea turtle, and I brought the oracle of the mermaid. So let's hang out in the sea for a little bit. So what else would be helpful on lightning, purse, owl, love, tower, camel, and sea turtle? Please and thank you. What is a mermaid message? Sisterhood. That's really nice. You're going to hang out with some friends. And, you know, maybe for some of you, this is your boys. I'm not getting that it's a gender thing. It's an energy thing. These are people that you enjoy spending time with, that got your back, that support you on your success, that help you in transition. Maybe these are even people helping you move. If you have to, you know, actually move your home, you're packing your boxes, you're organizing. It's friendship, allies, compatible souls, loyalty, joy, and delight. And it's number 41, so that's a 5. So something's going to change. I did see the fish kind of being attracted to you. So maybe some of you have some new loyal friends coming in the mix that you're going to meet. You're going to just kind of groove with these people. I feel like you have fun together. I feel like for some of you, you also have a friend you haven't seen in a while. If you think of a friend out of the blue, they're probably thinking of you. Maybe give that person a call. Maybe you can catch up. I do see here, you do have a journey. So for some of you, maybe you're going to visit a friend you haven't seen in a long time. Could even be a family member. This is definitely somebody that has your back, is loyal to you, that you feel comfortable around. Even with this turtle, you open up to in a different way than, you know, just an acquaintance or just the people you work with. I do feel like some of you are going to go on a visit, or maybe you're inviting that person if you haven't seen them in a while and that's your buddy. Like maybe they should come to see you. Maybe you can even like meet in the middle, go on vacation together. I do feel like for some of you, this is somebody very far away. And I feel like for some of you, they don't even live far away. You've been really busy. You've been paying attention to, you know, at work, or maybe even some of you have a new lover and you're spending a lot of time with them. Don't forget your friends, especially if you have somebody really loyal to you. So yeah, I like that. Did I even show you the card? So let's go to an angel number. Let's get you one angel number and then we'll go to the tarot. I brought the Urban Tarot. I think that's the right one. Yeah, we'll use that one. But let's get one angel number. Angel number for the, wow, it's so quick, so quick. I love when it happens really fast. 1414. That's what I saw before. That's what I saw here with this lightning. Like you know, lit up, turned on. Hey, maybe someone turns you on. I think I need my glasses. Hold on. 1414. It's like Temperance 2.0. Ignite your spark. It does say here self-reliance. So maybe it's not about somebody else lighting your spark. Maybe it's you sparkling on your own. This is spark, inspiration, opportunity, joy. Same thing. New beginnings. New beginnings and positivity. I feel like that's these people, or even if it's just one person. This is someone that even if you're down in the dumps, you still feel better around them. You smile after you talk to them. It's somebody that you can be like crying and then all of a sudden they make you laugh your ass off. It's like that kind of energy, or at least they really like lift you up. Focus on your needs and desires with a joyful attitude. New opportunities, friendships. Yeah. Where's your... It could also be some of your friends are really wise. You know, if some of you have friends that are falling out of your world and you don't really feel like they're your vibe anymore, I don't feel like there's going to be like I kind of feel like it's going to be a really natural situation, not any kind of conversation. I just feel like you might be growing apart with a certain group or a certain person, but it's not like, hey guys, I think you're acting like dumbasses. I don't think I'm going to hang out anymore. I don't think it's that. I just feel like it's kind of natural, and I feel like you are naturally being pulled either back to some people you haven't seen in a while but you groove with, or to some new people that you're going to get to meet very soon. So, or even it says new opportunities, friendships, or even family additions might be on the horizon. Embrace the positive energy to speed up the process. So you have to bring this back into that half glass full, or even if the glass was empty and there was a hole in the glass, well, now you get to get a new glass and fill it up in a different faucet. I do keep seeing water with you guys. You just have to change how you view every situation. Life has weird situations. So it's not about, you know, never having a cloudy day. Cloudy days, weird stuff does happen, but it's you flipping that around on your own, trying to see something from a different perspective, trying to see how possibly you learned from that weird ass experience, you know? I love how these have questions or what feels like energetic homework. So, what hobbies or desires can you focus on to reignite your passion? What makes you feel passionate? What makes you just at least curious? Start there. Sometimes that takes you down a road, you know? You follow one clue, it takes you somewhere else. You follow that clue, it takes you someone else. You meet someone else over there. They have a conversation with you. All of a sudden, they present something to you you never even heard of before, but that's your passion. Just follow those passionate, you know, joyful clues inside of you. How can I stay open to new opportunity and positive changes? Identify one passion or hobby you've been neglecting and take a step, just one step. That's all you need to do. One step at a time gets you somewhere, takes you on a journey towards rekindling it. Embrace a positive mindset and be open to new opportunities and relationships that come your way. I feel like some of you, I keep hearing your bestie. So that's a new bestie or an old bestie you haven't seen in a while, coming on back and reconnecting. Maybe you even sign up for a class or something like that with somebody that you really love hanging out with. Even if you're doing something independent, I feel like there's at least one person coming in that, I hear boost. They give you a little boost or a little pep talk. They remind you of what you may occasionally forget. If there's, you know, a little too many clouds in the sky one day. or 1 week or over a dry spell. This is someone that recognizes that beautiful soul, that beautiful light, that sunshine in you. So let's go to the tarot. Let's see. I kind of feel like we should just kind of keep it open and see what needs to come through. So what would be helpful to know about? What is the overall focus today to have awareness of for the collective watching this? Today's focus, please and thank you, that you have a brand new opportunity coming in. It's the ending. So whatever you're leaving behind, you're given a little glance-a-roo back, but you can't see what's up that mountain, but you have steps up that mountain. You also have a universe of potential right in front of you. You can't quite see it, but where you're leaving looks like it is kind of falling down. So step through this portal, step through this world, take a bow, let something go, get ready to get to the top of that and leap into the unknown, because all of those brand new possibilities are right ahead of you. You are doing something in your heels. And her sassy little outfit. Oh, she's so cute. You're actually feeling so much better about leaving something behind than you were worried about leading up to that point. Or I feel like some of you are even leaving something behind here where that last cycle, it actually feels like a relief, a breath of fresh air. Like you have this new vitality. You have this new curiosity. You've changed your focus from looking back. Now, even when you do take a little glance back, you're looking back with gratitude, no matter what that last cycle was, because you're recognizing that what's ahead of you is growth. What's ahead of you is the world of possibilities. You know, if there's anything that you want to become or you want to do or you want to discover, you want to try, now is the day to start to make those changes for anything that you've been thinking about or anything that you think of on the spot, you know, as you move. Sometimes it's a dream you put way back there on the back burner, shoved in your, I hear like ice, like put in the back of your freezer. You put something on ice for way too long. It's time to, like, it's like she's walking up into a tornado or why do I say tornado? A volcano. Tomato. So let's see what this ending is all about. Number 21, the world. It's also a 3, so there's something about you getting more creative. No longer in a creative block or a dry spell, getting more creative and expressive with who you are, whether that's your sassy style or how you handle a new project. There's also this victory wreath that's right around you. Maybe some of you also have a cat. You have a cat watching you here. It's like she's walking on ruins, though, like ancient ruins. But when you look at where she's stepping, it's almost like a magical, energetic, neon. It's not even like a carpet. It's like a neon staircase. It's like it's lighting up the way. It's like, it kind of reminds me of like this thing. John Travolta, you know, like the disco dance floor. Like, I can tell by the way you walk, I'm women's fan. No time to talk. little Bee Gees. Like, I feel like that's what she's doing, walking up that staircase. You know? So maybe it is about just dancing, vibing, being in the now. In other decks, this is the world. Here, I like that it's the universe because that's even bigger than the world. It's like instead of the world of possibilities, it's the whole universe, whatever you can imagine. What is this? The Painter. Maybe you're connecting to a Queen of Swords. She is really independent and self-reliant. I love that this particular Queen of Swords is a painter, because they're giving her, whatever I said here, being creative, they're giving her that creative flair, because generally she's painted as, you know, super logical, the good communicator, asks the right questions, kind of tough too. Sometimes even harsh if she's upside down. Here, she looks like she's actually in Zen. You know, she's, I don't know, she has that floating crown. So it's almost like her higher self is really starting to rise or connect to the ether, yet she is grounded here. There's something about both being logical and allowing yourself to be a little messy. You know, paint outside the lines. Maybe your masterpiece is not paint by number. Maybe your masterpiece isn't even measured. There's so many like very stiff measurements here. Maybe your masterpiece is, you know, taking that paintbrush and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Can't control my anger. I can't get this painting. And you're like, oh wow, it's a masterpiece. And then maybe you do something like that and then you get the details. I feel like somehow this queen is like both right brain, left brain. So maybe she's actually a musician as well. That fires up both hemispheres of the old noggin. There's also something about this queen possibly having wise advice, or you're just stepping into this energy. It doesn't matter what gender you are. This queen would be a great friend. This queen would be a great partner, whether that's business or lover, because she always got her, you know, she always has a thing going on. This is not a queen that likes to be complacent. She's a good communicator, so she always has these ideas, but, you know, she doesn't ever act upon those ideas. She's kind of a grumpy puss. She likes to know she has her own sense of independence, her own thing going on. She's also the queen that stands up for her sisters or her brothers, or, you know, her friends, her family members, or a stranger if she sees that somebody can't quite speak up on their own. She defends and helps others. She's a great teacher too. Why do we have the Queen of Swords? So it could be Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, the Knight of Discs. Maybe she has a great idea, or after some communication or clear questions that are asked, maybe it's about getting back to the drawing board or getting that cook in the kitchen. The Knight of Discs is generally a it's like filet mignon here. Filet mignon and mashed potatoes and turnips and spinach. Maybe it's about something cooking up in the kitchen. But this is not just a normal chef. You know, this isn't really like somebody making sandwiches and peanut butter and jelly here. It's the gourmet chef. There's a difference. You know, this is somebody who preps. You know, they don't mess around. They make sure they have all of those ingredients. Everything is very organized. This is somebody who doesn't get cheap on ingredients. So maybe that's whatever I saw before about spending on the right things that are of value. This would be somebody that wouldn't get frivolous with the spices they don't need, but they're going to pay for the one of good quality that's going to make that meal the most amazing meal someone has ever had. It's also somebody that doesn't let that plate leave the kitchen with a splatter on the side of it. It's not like shoving it on the tray and getting it out there. It's like, wait. They're going to wipe up that, you know, plate. They're going to make sure everything is perfectly balanced. So it's about presentation here too. Preparation, presentation, quality, and not rushing something after that conversation. It could also be that this is the energy that is needed in this transition, or this is the energy that is needed towards, what does it say? Persevere, and you're going to have a successful outcome and overcome any problems. The Knight of Discs is kind of slow, but this is also the person you didn't recognize, you know, when the staff at the front of the house shows up, that this person had been in the back since 8 o'clock in the morning and actually woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure they were the first one at the farmer's market. That is a really good, I really like that they put that in for the Knight of Discs. That actually makes a lot of sense. They work hard when others aren't even recognizing how hard they're working. And sometimes they don't really get the credit. They do, you know, because their satisfaction is knowing that somebody's enjoying that meal, that they did the best they can with every single plate that went out there. It looks like this person really enjoys their job. But sometimes this Knight of Discs does take a very long time to get to the finish line. But that's because they sleep if they're tired. They recognize they need to take a day off if they're imbalanced. Generally Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. It could also be that this new experience, new people coming in your life, it's a slow and steady, beautiful, flowing process and progress in this new chapter you're heading towards. I did see, like, you know, if I put this over the, like, watch control your anger, or you'll be sorry. I guess if this was upside down, that's that kitchen that you go back in and the chefs are all like throwing chicken at each other. Like, not very happy back there. So I'm not getting that is the energy coming in. Maybe that's the energy you're leaving behind with a smile. So let's get another, because now you have 2 court cards. But sometimes the Knight is not necessarily a personality. Sometimes it is, you know, that clear communication, that strong communication, that truthful approach to a situation, and doing something step by step on that journey. Because the Knight can be just about the journey, about the experience. One more, please and thank you. On 21, Queen of Swords and Knight of Discs. I feel like there's also a kiwi. And the Hierophant. You did have wise advice, or advice from a wise person here. So maybe it is about changing up the rules, embodying the lessons from Source, God, Spirit, because it's not going to that sermon, hearing it, and then not living those lessons just so you can talk about going to the TED Talk or that, you know, college professor's class. You know, if you don't get the knowledge or embody the wisdom gained, then you can talk about going to the class, but if you don't live that truth, what's the point of taking the lesson? It could also be where somebody is struggling or walking into a new chapter where maybe it's figuring out that balance between the traditional route and what always worked, and maybe adding a little bit of their own unique space on that. You know, maybe there's someone here that opened up somebody's mind to see their overall situation in a different way. Because I always see the Hierophant more as that blend. It can be just restrictions. It can be following the rules. It can be, you know, doing something the traditional route. It could also relate to a marriage, or a marriage coming in, or school, institutions, your job, anything where there's kind of rules. Like, you know, you're supposed to be there at 3 o'clock. You have to be there at 3 o'clock, not 5 minutes after. You know, there's reasons for certain rules. But then you have to, I'm going back to this because I see the restaurant here. But then maybe it's recognizing, I don't know why I see hours changing or something like that. Maybe somebody's even changing their hours. I feel like if this is a good way to look at the Hierophant, besides it being like traffic, that's a good way to look at it. That's rules that are, you know, beneficial to follow so that traffic flows without a problem. But when there's construction, you might need to have somebody to bypass that light, you know, reroute those rules a little bit. It's also, if it has to do with a marriage, you know, what worked with, let's say it's somebody on marriage number 2 here, just for an example, you know, or one big relationship and now there's another big relationship. The rules that work with the old person or that old cycle are not going to be the same. Not only have you changed and grown, but the person you're with is a whole other different human being. So they're going to have their own perception, as well as the dynamic of that partnership is something totally different. So sometimes you have to be flexible and rewrite those rules, you know, mix and mingle a little bit of the old with a little bit of the new and see what works for you. For some people, traditional is good. They don't want to bend. And that's, you know, like it's just kind of like an individual choice that could have to do with culture. It could have to do with somebody's personality. Somebody's set in their ways. That's the way they're going to do it. You're not going to bend. If you're the one that wants to bend, then maybe you're going to bend better with somebody else. Wow. Maybe you're about to go up that magical staircase into the universe, and it looks like you're about to pull down your star. You're shining like a star. You found your co-star. This is where, after any weird tower, or even because of a great tower, all of a sudden you have new dreams. All of a sudden, I feel like you're this is gonna sound a little weird, but I feel like you're falling in love with who you are. I feel like there was something before, or you fell off your path, or off your game, something like that, and now you realize you were exactly on your game the whole time. Or maybe it's playing new rules, writing new rules to your... I just thought of that Game of Love by Michelle Branch. I think it's Santana. Just what you want me to be. One kiss and bam, you're the only one I see. So please tell me. That one. That's a cute song. You're also barefoot, so you're grounded. You're letting something go. Maybe you took out the garbage. You're seeing something through this multifaceted, almost like stained glass window here. You're letting something that was unhealthy, because I see that soda bottle. You're letting something that was unhealthy just wash down the drain. The star is hope that comes in, healing that happens. Your aura getting brighter. You seeing everything with a unique light. It's dreams coming true. Anything that felt out of reach before, it's almost like it's falling right into your world. You're also the one stretching up towards it. So there's a beautiful allowance and pursuing at the same time. I feel like the star is a beautiful conundrum and I love her. She's also like just dancing barefoot, kind of on a dirty street in a city. It's a little weird, but she's just like, that's the moment. Look at that beautiful, you know, I almost said star set, starlight out there. Maybe this is somebody who even discovers that the way in is just to knock on the window, maybe not the big open door. Maybe there's something about the light now being on. I just thought of singing in the rain. It's kind of like that. You know, I don't know if you guys have seen that as an old movie, but I think they were like up all night writing for something or writing music. And I think they went out. I haven't seen it in a long time. But I think they go outside and it's like almost morning or something. And it starts to, you know, it's I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy again. It's that. It's something like that. Dance in the sky and skies up, well, I'm happy and falling in love. I feel like it's when they first just kind of like fell for each other. Maybe I have to rewatch that movie. I just remember him like, you know, dancing around the pole. Movies were so different back then. I had a friend that was watching the Carol Burnett show the other day. And it was like whole like dance moves and everything. Shit. First of all, Carol Burnett, amazeballs. I did say something before about humor, right? Maybe some of you do something with humor. Makes people happy. Maybe you can do something like that. If you are kind of a performer, or you just have your own interesting sense of humor on whatever it is you do. Maybe it's about keeping your sense of humor, but maybe there's somehow that you can share that. I even feel like this knight probably has some pretty funny jokes when he's back there making some puns about the chicken. I just feel like it's a "that's what she said" joke. Oh my gosh, this reading. I hope it was helpful for you today. Should we get you, let's just get you one or two mystery messages to end this reading. Plus it's getting kind of late here. I did this reading late today. What's a mystery message or two that would help you, please and thank you? Aw, that's beautiful. I feel like it's praying with gratitude, saying thank you that these dreams are, you know, already coming true. Opportunities are being presented to you, that you have maybe the right helpful people helping you with a big transition coming in, or, you know, standing up for you on something you want to be self-reliant with, or that the right wise advice comes in right when you need it, or this is already a prayer you sent out. That sparkle was already inside of you. I feel like something had to come and like you hit the flint. Wow. Because you're heading towards victory. And that's not just one big V. That's victory energy all around in you, where even when you hit that goal, you know, you accomplish that thing, you go through that portal, you have a brand new beginning, then maybe you get another new beginning, and then another new goal, and then another, you know, I feel like you keep setting that bar different ways, but I don't feel like it's setting the bar higher. I feel like you got a bunch of them and you're accomplishing all of these things that maybe you never thought you'd do. Today is the day to start to try. Be in that energy of victory and gratitude. One more. Uh-oh. I should have stopped. Maybe it's victory against that. Maybe it's also a prayer. I don't think like that. I don't think that's everybody's situation, but if any of you were leaving a cycle here, maybe that's why you're leaving with a smile on your face. Because when you leave a karmic situation, you feel grateful for it. You're like, whew, that's done. And then you can breathe again. So if any of you had anyone, I mean, if it's coming at the end of the reading, you know, there's a message here for somebody. If anybody started to recognize, or maybe even somebody that isn't usually a pushover noticed that, or maybe this is even somebody who was a karmic for some of you. It could have been, because if she's upside down, she's harsh. She can definitely play mind games. She can definitely, because she's smart. You know, Queen of Swords is a smart cookie, but if she's selfish and low vibes, she could use manipulation tactics, all kinds of mind games to mess with somebody, to take advantage of them or get what he or she wants. But I feel like this is just maybe what somebody is moving away from, or maybe you've already come out of any kind of karmic situations, you know, where they're throwing chicken at each other in the kitchen. Maybe this is that thing where you're just kind of, I did see you kind of leaving some people where it wasn't like a, hey, this is a bad situation, I don't even want to be here. I feel like it just, if something doesn't feel right, you just don't give it your energy. I did see someone in the beginning, right? I can't quite remember. I think I saw someone here kind of pushing buttons. That would probably be that person. So that's not this, you know, compatible soul, beautiful, loyalty, delightful energy. That's a cycle that's done. But because you have the universe, you've already passed that energy of judgment. You've already really recognized how to not bring any heavy baggage with you. That's why you're in those heels here. Let's get one more. Even when you got energies like that, bring it back to you. Bring that love back to you. And you can always pray and send love to any kind of weird energies that they too can be in this energy of success and victory when it's authentic and true. You know, sometimes that's the best thing you can do. Pray that somebody else's dreams come true. And, you know, they get out of a karmic cycle. Because often people that are in it don't recognize they're actually in one until it feels a little off and they're outgrowing something. So send love. Because we're all down here doing our best. And, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy. You know, we live in a big old world of, you know, diverse energies. And we all have our own journey. We all have our own path. We all have our own pace. And we all have our own lessons. So try to see everyone as you. You know, treat your neighbor like you would want to be treated. Try to see that child of God in everyone. And we're down here having a do the best we can human experience. And with that, I bid you adieu. I love you so much. I hope this reading was helpful. I love you and look forward to seeing you mañana. Mwah. Bye.